Hello and welcome back to the Gadget Man 369 channel. Today we're going to install the missing centering ring that I didn't do last time. Forgot about it. Now, as you recall, I did mention that there seemed to be something missing on there. Well, that's the piece that was missing. Also, we are going to measure out and cut out all the engine ejection charge exhaust holes out. Then that's pretty much it. We're going to make this a fairly quick video. Keep it simple, stupid, you know. KISS, remember that? Anyway, without further ado, let's get this video going. Okay, you remember this. We got to put an extra centering ring right about here somewhere. Okay, so let me get the drawing out. Get the drawing out. Not in or out or... Okay, gotta balance that thing, you know. Okay, let's see what we got here. Don't know if you could see that. I think so. Let's see, where's those dimensions? It's probably out of the picture. Right here. Okay, so from that first bulkhead to that one is 5.5, and we need one more extra inch on there to give it actually a total of 7 inches from here, which is the edge of where the skin is going to be, not the bulkhead. So if you come up here, alright, make it just quick. I can fix that later. We need 7 inches because the fin is going to be glued on that skin at the bottom from here to the tip right here. And what this does is it supports the tip. Okay, so we need to make some measurements. You can pause this video if you like and have a beer or whatever. Study this thing. You got 5.5 here plus an inch. So what we have is this. Okay, let's double check that. Should be about 5.5 inches, right on the money. Okay, now I need an inch. I'm gonna mark that thing an inch right there. Okay. All right. That's good. I'll just set this thing aside for right now. Get out of the way. There we go. Oh my chrome. Okay, let's see. You don't need this anymore. If you paused it and printed it, you really don't need it anymore. So here's what we're going to do. You remember these blocks. I'm going to get this handy dandy bulkhead install alignment jig ready to go. And we have our remaining bulkheads. There was an extra one if you remember right, so I'm going to grab one of those. I always like to keep these between the blocks. Set that one aside, and here's what we're going to do. Okay, you know what, here's a trick I came up with. I'm going to cut this and then we'll insert it on that tube. That's a way to get this on there. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually just tear this. Like this. Okay. Now if you cut a straight line, it'll be harder to glue it back together. But as you can see, there's something to actually put glue on. And we could just, without having to add extra weight and a tab of paper on there, we could just glue it back together like that. Let's see, what end do I put that on? Yeah, I know I'm out of the scene here. All this stuff, that's it. Hit the camera. I'm going to put this most all the way. This thing should fit in here pretty easy. Slide really easy by now. I'm going to turn this around. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I did that because I need to put this thing on there, and that would just wreck the tube. So I'm going to go ahead, let's make sure that's on the correct way. There you go. There's the side with that countersunk side. Get that on there. Ooh, get on there. Huh. Stubborn little booger. There we go. Okay, well, let's see. Being that is right there. Okay, not prepared good enough. Okay, let's get this off of here. Do our usual, just a speck of glue, making sure that's lined up, that edge is lined up really good. Then go ahead and hold that down. Okay, you can whistle for a few seconds while that dries. Okay, I'm going to slide this out of the way. Okay, it's stuck. Now I'm going to put this thing on there. Yeah, look how easy that is. Okay, so what I need to do, it's really hard doing this when you're trying to keep all this stuff in the camera, and you need to be an octopus actually to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to glue that back together. You can tell, make sure that's glued in the proper position back. It feels right because it was, it feels correct because of how it's fitting on here. Okay, where's our mark? There's our mark. Okay, let's put some glue around here. You already know this routine. Doesn't have to be real neat. Okay, let's see. Just like that. Okay, where's that mark? Get that up here and take our alignment thingy and just push that up there like that. Now I have an exact position. Look at that, and it's already pretty straight. Pinch that. Okay. Okay, you can see that glue on the other side of it. Give it a few seconds here. Wipe that off. Put that back on. Okay, I think I'm going to just pull that out back here and just go ahead and pull it off. Okay. Very good. Alright. You can see the glue on there. It doesn't have to be perfect on that one. I'm going to rotate this puppy around. There's that dog again. I'm going to take this PVC pipe out because it's heavy. Okay, and this is the side we're actually going to work on. Okay, here's what we need to do. Got a scrap piece of paper. I like that side so it'll be easier to work with. Okay. Pencil's already sharpened. Get some kind of a circle template is the best way to go on this. Let's see. Just gonna lay that out like that. Okay, that's 5/16 diameter. Okay, you don't want to go any bigger than that. And you could actually go as small as a 1/4 inch, but I wouldn't do that. Okay, now we could just cut this out. You know what? Make life easier. Okay. Use our X-Acto knife here to cut this circle. Okay, come on. Doesn't have to be real perfect. Okay, here we go. There's that. Now we have a scrap piece of paper here. Put that back on there. Okay, let's see here. Will this fit in between there? Yeah, it sure will. I'm just going to eyeball a center line right here. Okay, what we need... Okay, these are going to be the short ones. Okay, I'm going to put an X there, an X here, like that. Okay, this one's going to have a 0 on it. I need 1 inch here, 1 inch here. Okay, that's just to ID what is what here. You'll get what's going on. This don't have to absolutely be perfect. Okay, you could see this is the bulkhead. This is the centering ring with the holes in it. Okay, so I'm gonna do that and that and that. Okay, just like that. You can just sloppily put something on there like that. Now, if we gotta find the opposite side, okay, let's see. And you know what? Here's a trick I just came up with. I'm gonna mark the inside of that. Now, when I turn this over, God, you guys won't be able to see that. There's that line in here. That's the opposite side. Now close one eye. Okay, something about right there. Okay, now I'm gonna... Okay, that should be opposite of these. Okay, now we're gonna do this again. I'm just centering that. Doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Just like this. 1, 2, 3. We got all 3 of those. Now, I'm gonna eyeball the center of that. And we need the position for those 2. Which is right here, right there. Okay, do the same thing on the other side. I'm kind of turning this and looking at this line, and then when you turn it so far you can see that one again and get it where it's in between, and then just draw a little guideline right there to give you roughly a center for that. Okay, there's that one and that one. Okay, now we got our positions. Okay, I'm gonna give this the old present ribbon trick here to round it a bit. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. Like that. Like this. Ooh, this might take a little longer than I thought. Okay, got that. Uh-oh. Let me get the center ones first. Okay, it's easier to hold on to that while there's something to hold on to. That side. Like that. Oops, come on, don't move. This don't have to absolutely be perfect. Okay, let's tear that off like that. That way I can get this over here on that side. Like that. Like this. X marks the spot. Okay, now I can rotate that around the other way. Put that on there. Lick my fingers. Okay. There's those. Okay, lick my fingers again so I can, that'll help you hold this little template down. Just like that. Okay, yeah. There, we have our holes all laid out now. Alright. Let's see if I can position myself a little bit better here. Alright, let's see. Do I have a better way to put this? How about turning it this way? Like I said before, it's tight in here. It's a handy tool, nice gadget. Put this on a piece of paper, draw a line across there, and you push this forward. You can make straight lines. They're spaced on each other. It's a little antique thing. You can find one of those things. I have no idea what it's called. Anyway, let's set that down. Wants to roll away. Put a glue bottle over there. Let's get the X-Acto knife out. Okay, bring this over here. Balance that on something. Now we're gonna just start cutting these holes out. And you just saw around that. I need to sharpen this blade. I said it don't have to be absolutely perfect. On the final cut like this one, I'm getting close to the end, do it on the upward pole. See that? Instead of those pieces getting stuck on the inside, they'll come popping out instead. Okay. Okay. Just cut, rotate the X-Acto blade. X-Acto knife. There we go. And then on just before on that final little cut, pull up on it. And hopefully part of it did. Okay, there we go. Don't put your finger so far in there is where you cut a hole in your finger. That wouldn't be too fun, would it? That's not the way to paint a rocket red. Pull up, pull up, pull up. Okay. Sometimes that'll happen. You don't want to leave too many small fragments in there because that might end up smoldering a little bit after the ejection charge and catch your rocket on fire. We don't want you to do that. Okay. Getting a little bit better at this. You saw me do this on that last rocket build, the first one. Let's see. Oh boy. See, that's what happens when you don't. Let's see if I could push that up there. There we go. There's that one. There we go. I don't want any of that in there. It'll like have something to smolder in and burn a hole in your rocket or something. You don't want that. Next, make sure your finger isn't in there over that blade. Okay, now I'm going to start pulling upward. Okay, this will be easier to stick my finger in there and pull out on that thing. Okay. Good thing we have a little music going. This part's like boring. Yes, my finger's under there. Okay. All right. Look at that, a couple more left. That one. It's kind of an idea I came up with. I didn't, like I said before, all that stuff you put wadding and fireproof wadding and stuff in there and whatever. And it's like, man, there's got to be a better way to do that. I thought I'd come up with this idea. I did a long time ago, and it works perfectly. Then you don't have to put extra stuff in there and wadding and more messy stuff. Okay, look, that's what we have. Whoops, look at that, there's 2 more. That's why you double check. Get this thing back. There's plenty enough holes to handle that ejection charge. I always like to make more there than necessary. Then that'll guarantee there's no back pressure. If you have back pressure, then you're taking away the chance of that parachute not coming out when it's supposed to. If that doesn't happen, you're gonna have just a big pile of paper on the ground. Of course, some of these rockets are so light you don't even need a parachute. They'll just float down and they'll have like no damage to them practically. Oh yeah, the last one has got to be the tough one. And of course I can't get my finger in there, so I'll just use a pencil. There we go. Maybe I should just do that in the first place. Very good. Will that pencil fit through there? Let's see. I'd like to find something that I can... ooh, I got just the thing. Let's set that there. Okay. Put that cap back on. Okay. I have this glue bottle. What we could do is push this in the hole and just rotate it to smooth out the hole a little bit. It's not going to show. It don't have to be pretty, but I just want to do that to lower the chance of that burning like an incense stick and then maybe catch fire. Well, how you like that, huh? Talk about your quick video. I don't like that one. There we go. As you can see, it cleaned up the holes quite a bit. Yeah. And we got that center ring on there. Okay. You see, I'll explain it a little bit. When we put the skin on there, it's going to be a 1/2 inch below the end of that center ring. So the whole total length of that is from the edge of the skin to the tip right here. That's 7 inches. And that fin will, when you glue it on, the tip will be laying right up against this, giving it some support. And I think when the launch lugs are installed, one of them's going to be here at this point, the first one. The other one's going to be here on top of that, which will give it support. Otherwise that thing will be just flopping on that skin, which is very flimsy. Alright, well there we go. Got that. Okay. And we got a mess to clean up. Alright, I told you this is going to be a quicker video. It's more like it. But here's what we did today. Got those holes in there. Got that extra centering ring in there. I don't know why I keep pulling this thing down out of the view. And, you know, yeah, this is really, I think this is about completed, and we gotta build the skins and skin this thing. We're gonna make a big, thin paper tube that this is gonna slide into. Something you want to do is go over these center rings, the ones that are dry, and just tweak them a little bit to make them straight as you can. Give you something to do while you're watching TV. Does anybody watch TV anymore? I don't know about you, but who wants to just turn on a TV just to watch a bunch of commercials? Okay, let's see. Straighten that one out a little bit. See that? You can just because they're just a little bit warped. Not too bad though, because we kept them in that block. But yeah, this is really coming along now. Okay, see if I can set this aside without crushing it. There we go. Yeah, this is pretty cool stuff. Am I crooked? Well, it looks like the camera is on the tripod crooked. But anyway, don't know what else to say. Next week we're going to try and get that that skin made and slide that in there and glue that in there. I don't know how long the video for that is going to be, but that one is going to be a challenge, I have to warn you. To make a tube that thin and keep it like almost perfect in circumference and all that stuff, and then to make it, got to cut those pieces out absolutely perfect, or that won't slide in there correctly. Going to make this so it slides on absolutely perfect. The first time, no rework and sanding bulkheads or having to, you know, do a bunch of rework, hopefully. But yeah, I had my coffee this morning. Make my own coffee. Yeah, I got this antique coffee holder here. There we go. I'm going to pour me a little bit of that. Yep. It works really good. Antiques last longer. That'll last for the rest of my life. And whoever gets a hold of it after, if they take care of it, it'll last forever, man. Good. Nothing like your own homemade coffee. I do brew it in a an antique coffee maker. It's an old percolator. It's sitting right over there. I can't reach and get it right now without knocking the camera over, and we don't want that. But everything I have is antiques. You've probably seen this in the picture. Love my antique clock. No plastic. Made in Germany. That thing will last forever. Hell, it's lasted the last generation. That thing's like 100 years old or something. Now, actually, I think it was made in the 50s. That was quite a while ago. But most of the clocks you can get there are over 100 years old. They'll still be running anyway. They're not made like everything nowadays where they're just designed to break after the first couple of months and force you to buy another one. And yeah. Much cooler in here. Way better. But anyway, we're working on rocket ships. We're working on the big one. And if everything goes right, and if I feel up to it, the one after this is something I'm going to call a colossal rocket. Okay, it's going to be double the size of this, if you can believe that. And we'll fly that on an F engine. And that should like blow that out of the sky, because using the same layers of paper and all that, and not every piece is just bigger around in diameter for the most part. It'll be like it'll be lighter per size ratio, if you know what I'm talking about. So an F engine, let's see, you got the D engine that this is going to fly on. Then you got an E, which is twice as powerful as the D, and then you got the F, which is twice as powerful as an E engine. So yeah, having something that big and powerful, you'll be right up with the rich guys, you know, flying their $10,000 rockets, but you only have one. Oh, gee, this cost me $3 to make, plus the cost of the motor or something. But yeah, this is where it's at. Fun is in the building. And if you go out and crash the rocket, it's like, oh boy, now we can build a new one. You'll have enough videos and these drawings I've been making to go by to make your own. You could make your own fin designs and all kinds of stuff. Once you get through these, you'll have an understanding of how to design and build these things. Anyway, I hope you have a great day. And this is the Gadget Man 369, over and out.